Captain Thomas Reed stood at the viewport of the UES Harbinger, watching the unfamiliar stars of the Centauri system rotate slowly before him. 3 months of diplomatic missions had brought them here, to the edge of known space, seeking first contact with a species known only through intercepted transmissions. "Captain, we're receiving a distress call," Communications Officer Lisa Morgan announced, her voice cutting through the quiet hum of the bridge. "It's from the research outpost on Proxima B." Reeves straightened his uniform, put it through. Static filled the bridge before a panicked voice broke through. "This is Dr. Alan Walker of Research Outpost 7. We're under attack by something. They came from the shadows. I'd repeat, the transmission cut off abruptly. Prepare landing party." "Full tactical gear," Reed ordered, already moving toward the elevator. "We leave in 10 minutes. The shuttle landed on Proxima B's rocky surface half a kilometer from the outpost. Reed led his team, Security Chief James Wilson, Medical Officer David Brooks, and Science Officer Maria Torres, across the alien terrain. The outpost itself was a collection of prefabricated modules, nestled against a cliff face, dark and silent. "Life signs?" Reed asked, his breath visible in the thin, cold air. Torres checked her scanner. Faint readings. 3 humans, possibly 4, and something else. Readings I can't identify. "Stay alert," Wilson said, his hand hovering over his weapon. The main entrance stood ajar, emergency lights casting long shadows down empty corridors. The team moved methodically through the facility, finding signs of struggle but no personnel. "Captain," Torres called out, "these readings are strange. The shadows. They're denser than they should be. Higher mass than normal darkness." Reed was about to respond when a scream echoed from deeper in the facility. They'd found Dr. Walker cowering in a storage closet, his eyes wild with fear. "You shouldn't have come," he whispered. "They're attracted to movement, to fear. They're learning." "What happened here, Doctor?" Reed asked, kneeling beside the trembling scientist. "We discovered something in the cave system behind the outpost. Ancient symbols, pictographs warning about the dark. We thought it was superstition." Walker laughed bitterly. "Then people started disappearing. First Robert, then Emily. We found what was left of them later, the shadows. They took solid form, hunting us." "That's impossible," Brooks said. Walker grabbed Reed's arm. "That's what I said, but I saw it." The darkness reached out, and he stopped, his gaze fixed on something behind them. "Don't move." Reed turned slowly. At first, he saw nothing unusual, just the shadow of a storage rack cast against the wall. Then the shadow moved, against the light, independent of its source. "Back away slowly," Reed ordered. The shadow elongated, stretching across the floor toward them. Where it touched, frost formed on the metal surface. "Run!" Walker screamed, bolting from the closet. "Walker, wait!" Reed called after him. The scientist's footsteps echoed down the corridor, followed by a strange, slithering sound. Then came a scream that ended in a wet gurgle. "What the hell are these things?" Wilson whispered, his weapon trained on the approaching shadow. Torres studied her scanner. "They appear to be some form of dark matter manifestation, possibly sentient." "Can we communicate with them?" Reed asked. "Unknown, but..." Torres was cut off as the shadow lunged, forcing them to retreat. For the next hour, they played a deadly game of cat and mouse through the facility. 2 more shadows joined the first, herding the team deeper into the outpost. They found the remains of the rest of the research team, desiccated husks, drained of all energy. Quartered in the main laboratory, Reed realized their weapons had no effect on the entities. The shadows crept closer, blocking every exit. "They feed on movement and fear," Torres said suddenly. Dr. Walker ran. They all ran. Reed understood immediately. "Everyone stand perfectly still. Control your breathing." The shadows paused, seeming confused by the sudden lack of response. Reed felt sweat trickle down his back as one shadow elongated, forming a tendril that reached toward his face. He fought every instinct to flinch away. The tendril stopped just short of his skin. Reed could feel a cold so intense it burned, but he remained motionless. Slowly, deliberately, he met what he assumed was the creature's gaze. "We mean no harm," he said, voice steady. "We are not prey." The shadow pulled back slightly, then spread across the floor, forming symbols similar to those in the ancient cave drawings. Torres gasped softly. "It's communicating," she whispered. "These are mathematical sequences." For 3 tense hours, they stood in that room, establishing basic communication with the shadow entities. They learned the creatures were ancient guardians of the planet, awakened by the outpost's deep drilling. Those who ran were hunted. Those who stood their ground and communicated were respected. The UES Harbinger left Proxima 3 days later with a wealth of new information. The shadow entities, now called Umbra by the crew, had shared knowledge of dark matter manipulation that would revolutionize human technology. In return, humanity promised to approach new worlds with respect and caution. In his log, Captain Reed wrote, "Today marks humanity's true first contact with an alien intelligence, one so different from our own that it defies our understanding of life itself. The cost was high. 5 researchers paid with their lives for a simple mistake. They ran from shadows instead of standing firm. Their sacrifice taught us the most important lesson of space exploration. Fear is a luxury we cannot afford among the stars. When faced with the unknown, stand your ground. Communicate, respect. For the void between stars is not empty, and what we perceive as darkness may be watching us just as intently as we watch it." The Harbinger's engines flared as it jumped to faster-than-light travel, leaving behind a world of living shadows and taking with it a simple truth that would guide humanity's future. Never run from shadows. They move faster than light.